Tomorrow's the official start of summer, and more kids are going to be outdoors, whether they're involved in sports or summer camps. So this morning we're talking with Dr. Scott Cyrus, pediatrician, to share kind of the best ways to make sure your kids have a safe and healthy summer. Good morning, Dr. Cyrus. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Kind of give me some of the highlights. We all know that being outside and being active is good for us, but what's really the importance of being active outside?
You know, it builds muscle, it builds the ability to socialize. There's other children outside. There's just a wealth of information there that can be beneficial to the children. Vitamin D conversion happens with sunlight, but we need to obviously make sure that we protect our children while they're outside also.
It's good for us to an extent, everything in moderation. Let's talk a little bit about the outdoor activities and how you can protect your child. We even put the full screen together so you can kind of walk us through making sure that those activities are age appropriate first and foremost.
Exactly. I mean, one of the big things is that if you have a very young child, it's not good for them to be out in the very heat of the day. Take them out in early in the morning is probably the better time to do it, or maybe even late at night. But kind of avoid the dusk and the dawn because of the bugs and such. But protecting them from the heat, the sun, loose-fitting clothing. You can put a fan on them if that's available. Also, hats, kind of a wide brim hat, if you will, and then sunglasses is really an important aspect of things to be able to protect the eyes from UV rays. Sunscreen, we obviously want you to be using sunscreen, but we want to be able to let you know that 6 months and older, under 6 months of age, many times they have such sensitive skin that it really is a better idea to kind of avoid the sunscreens. And then again, they shouldn't be in direct sunlight anyway, so they should really be in the shade. And of course, always keep them well hydrated, because they lose so much fluid breathing and also playing and sweating and such. So to keep them well hydrated is a very good idea.
Let me go back on the sunscreen really quickly, because you can go to the store and you see all the different numbers, the SPF factors. What number should they be looking for? If there are water sports, should you find those water resistant ones? What are your suggestions?
Well, 30 SPF is a good number to always kind of shoot for, but also reapply. Water, sweat, all those things will kind of start to make the weaken the sunscreen. So reapplying about every 2 hours is really the mark that we'd like to look at them using the sunscreen.
Talking about hydration, a lot of times especially if kids are playing sports, the importance of staying hydrated, but also kind of pre-hydration. Talk about that.
Well, that's a really good idea, is to get if you know you're going to be outside, really set yourself up with good hydration. Drink water. Really, the sports drinks are good, but you really don't need a lot of those sports drinks. Really, water is a real key to this, especially not juice, not soda pop, colas, things like this. So it's a better idea to really pre-hydrate with water, and then keep yourself hydrated out there. If you feel like you're getting too hot, obviously if you stop sweating, not a good sign. It's time to come inside and relax, and then obviously keep hydrating with water.
How can you tell if your child does have heat exhaustion or heat stroke? What are some of the symptoms to be aware of?
Well, a lot of times the symptom that you see is that their skin is just really one bright red. They're not controlling their temperature. So it's a good idea. If they obviously get dizzy, feel weak, that's really where we progress too far, and we should be coming inside way before that. But again, keeping themselves cool is really the key to all of this. And once they get too hot, you may need to seek medical treatment for a child that gets too hot.
Less than a minute, but I want to talk just briefly about swimming and outdoor sports, the importance of CPR, life flotation, making sure that those kiddos are watched.
Well, that's really the key to a lot of it. One, make sure that if you're going to be around a swimming pool and your child is at that age that they can't swim, always have a life jacket on them. If you're at a point where you're in a splash pad, things like that, you want to avoid them drinking the water. You want them to avoid if they're sick, if they have a diaper on and they've have it's a dirty diaper, that needs to be changed because that can get in the water also. Idea of making sure that they, if they're climbing on things that they're, these are going to be wet, things that are wet, make sure there's a guardrail and make sure that they have, they're safe around those fun things so they can stay fun. But also, really important, learn CPR. You will never know how you can help somebody with CPR. It could be in the wintertime or any time of the year, but know CPR and make sure that one of the things that we find that drownings happen in pools is when people are reading or they're distracted in conversations. Make sure that somebody is there, always watching the children and make sure that they stay safe.
Full attention. Thanks, Dr. Cyrus. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much for